Fingers crossed now.
Hello again, everybody. I like to think we've actually sorted this out. So, once again, big apologies for the technical issues. Not quite sure what's going on, but we are back. So we are going to jump into just the guest side of it. We're going to completely ignore the beginning, and we'll go over sort of any housekeeping towards the end of the show. And I think that's probably the best way. I think so. Joe is back with us.
Yes, I'm here, Tom.
Ian is back with us.
Hello, I'm back again.
And Sam is back with us.
Hello, back again.
Finally.
Excellent. We're all here.
Right, let's do this, shall we?
Yes, Tom.
Excellent. So, we'll jump into some questions. So, also, if you have any questions, by the way, for Sam, chuck them in the chat and we'll get him to answer as many as we can throughout, however long we're going to be doing this for. This is now off the cusp. This is like a shoot kind of podcast at the moment. So, we're going to go roll with it. But let's get into some questions anyway. So, you mentioned before we obviously got cut off, Sam, that you were based up at Edinburgh. Tell us what it's like to sort of be spotting at that sort of airport.
It's great. However, of course, during these sorts of times, it's a bit less great just because there's less movements. But in the normal times, it was amazing. Lots of different carriers, from heavy aircraft to smaller aircraft. It was just amazing. You get plenty of good movements with plenty of good plane spotting areas, and just the airport in general is just really good.
Fantastic. And what kind of stuff goes into to Edinburgh for those that might not know?
What do you mean?
In terms of airlines and aircraft?
Well, of course, we have budget airlines such as Ryanair and EasyJet, and I think, there's a few others as well. Is Wizz Air, and if Wizz Air is a budget airline as well, then they're going to be coming back. But, well, at least I think so, according to Flight Radar 24 anyway. But, of course, I don't fully know if I should believe that. But we have a few budget airlines and a few international carriers such as Qatar, British Airways. We used to have Emirates with their Boeing 777s, but the route got cut because of the pandemic.
Okay. Wonderful. Over to you, Joe.
Right, Samuel. It's an honor to speak with you, and nice to meet you anyway.
Nice to meet you too.
Thanks very much. So Edinburgh Airport itself now, what's it like to get around, and is there easy access to the spotting areas there? Like, would you get any military aircraft or anything going into it?
There's plenty of good access to the different areas to plane spot at Edinburgh Airport, and there's really good spots there as well. And we've had a few military movements from the RAF, such as the C-17, the Airbus A400, and we've also had at least one Voyager in before. I can only remember one coming in. I did want to go out and make a video of it, but it was during the second lockdown, and I did get to see it parked up, but I didn't see it landing, taxiing, or taking off, which is really sad. But yeah, we do get a few military movements, mainly from the RAF.
Now, this is a question I want to ask. Have you seen the latest RAF A330 Voyager, the one that has been painted up recently in the lovely flag colour on the tail?
No, I haven't seen that one, but I think it would be interesting to see.
Right. Okay. So you've had the C-130s. That's the Hercules. You've had that's the RAF one now. You've had that one in, and you've had a couple of the fueling tankers and stuff like that. So yeah, that's good now. That's pretty reasonable amount of military traffic now going in there. And the runway length at Edinburgh Airport. How big is it? Like, what's the biggest aircraft that can actually handle?
Well, we've had a few 747s come to Edinburgh in the past, and back when it was fairly new, I think it was maybe back in 2009, an A380 actually did a fly past over the runway. I think it was probably for a show or something, but it didn't land. It did a go around, I think, just for show. And the runway length at Edinburgh Airport is 8,386 feet long, so it's pretty long. It could be long enough, possibly, to handle an A380. However, I think taxiing it to the terminal and taxiing it back out again may be a bit of a challenge. But, I mean, also because of safety reasons, we don't really get too many big aircraft like the A380 or the 747. And, of course, the 747 is becoming more rare, the passenger variants anyway.
Yeah.
So, the last 747 that is believed to come to Edinburgh was nearly a year ago, actually.
Right, oh God. So there hasn't been any there since the nada. That's a pity. Anyway, Tom, you have the next one.
Yeah, so I was just going to say, having spoken about what it's like to spot at Edinburgh and stuff, how did you get into the sort of the aviation side of things? Was it through like family, or was it through sort of what many people would do, which is, you know, you look up in the sky, see a plane, and instantly you're sort of infatuated with it?
Well, it's a bit of a story. However, it was back in, I think, sort of early, probably the first half of 2017. I'm actually thinking about making a YouTube video about this, but I'm not confirming whether I am or not. But back in late 2016 and early 2017, me and my mother and stepfather went on our first holiday together to the United States. We went to Orlando, Florida, and flew on a total of 5 aircraft. After the holiday, I actually started to become interested in aviation. It started off with me being really interested in the 747, and just it amazed me how the wings were strong enough to even handle the engines. And then eventually I was just working my way up, and I started watching some aviation videos on YouTube. One of the first ones, or one of my favorite ones, was on, I think it's airclips.com, and it's their most popular video, as well as a few other YouTube videos, like just landing and takeoff videos. And then, I can't remember too much about what happened after that, but my interest just grew more and more, and here I am today with a lot more models. I've got a few aviation books and my own aviation YouTube channel where I post my own aviation content. I did find aviation content really interesting, and I wanted to start making my own, and yeah, I don't really know what to say too much, because I mean, I've had this interest in the aviation industry for a few years now, so yeah, it's kind of hard to remember, to be honest, but
It sort of sums
that's
itself
sort of how
up, I
it
think.
started.
Yeah, it sort of sums itself
So it
up,
start-
really.
Yeah, but it all started sort of around after I took my first holiday to the United States. I think that's because I think I went on at least one Boeing 747, and that sort of started my interest, not right away, but maybe a bit after that.
Okay. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, no, that's fascinating, because a lot of people, like for myself, normally have like family members that have been in sort of the aviation side of things, but I think to experience it the way that you have as well is very unique. So in order to get into it from that sort of perspective, it's quite a different sort of story, as opposed to, you know, living near an airport or having like family members that are in aviation already. So yeah, definitely a really good way of getting into it, for sure. But yeah, fascinating. So if anybody's got any questions that they want to ask Sam, or get to know Sam a little bit more, throw them into the chat. But what we'll do just quickly, we'll do a brief stop with Ian to see who has rejoined us. Ian.
Well, Travelino Blog's back in the house, and he's saying, "And we're back." Steve Plains, hi guys, first time listening tonight.
Hello,
Nice
Steve.
to have you along there, Steve. James Swan says hello. Bradley's back as well, and
Cool.
it's buffering.
I think connection.
And that's pretty much it for time. We're just waiting for questions.
Say that again.
You might have to reboot.
I beg your pardon, Tom.
Yeah, I was just going to say it might be connection for him. I think it's I think we're all good. Our end. I've got excellent connection on my thing here, so just try and reboot
Same
it.
here,
I'm
Tom.
sure it'll be fine. Anyway, let's get into some more questions. So, what would you say then would be sort of? I mean, not just talking Edinburgh, of course. What would you say would be the most sort of exotic aircraft that you've witnessed?
The Antonov AN225. You cannot beat that.
Another one that's seen it.
That's
awesome. Yeah. It's always
That's
one.
awesome.
Oh
Yeah.
dear. And just tell us and tell the people that may not have seen it, just what it's like to witness such a big plane.
Well, since the Antonov AN225 is the world's biggest aircraft, it's honestly amazing. I didn't know much about it until probably a few days to a week before it actually came to Glasgow Prestwick Airport, which is the only airport in Scotland that can actually handle the aircraft. And me and my dad took a drive out to the airport to see it, and it was such an amazing experience. I've got a video of it on my channel, and at the time of this podcast, it is currently my most popular video on my channel. But just seeing the world's biggest aircraft, it was honestly an amazing experience. And as it's the world's biggest aircraft, I don't think there's any better experience.
Amazing. It's definitely an aircraft that brings out a lot of people, even those that aren't into aviation as well, just to sort of bear witness to the thing. I mean, there's only one never built so far, so it's
there was a
definitely
second
rare
one actually in the process as well. However, I don't know. Yeah, I think the project was just scrapped. However, I don't know if they just scrapped the aircraft during the process of making it, or if it's still there, just not being touched. But so far, there's only one, and it's about 33 years old, something like that.
Yeah, see, I have actually read somewhere that they are due to sort of finish it, but whether that's hokey news reporting or whether it's got any truth behind it, sort of remains to be seen, really. But I've seen pictures of the second one just sat sort of as a empty shell and that. So yeah, I suppose we'll just have to wait and see. I don't know if it has been scrapped or anything, but yeah, it's a dream of mine to see. To see the first one, to still see the AN225. So, yeah, the fact that you've seen it is.
It'd be great, though, Tom. It'd be great, though, to see the second one, though, constructed, because I thought I read something about that there was talks in the pipeline. Constructing the second one, because if the other one, if the present one is flying at the moment is 36 years old, they're probably going to need a backup system anyway to take over if that one does ever fail. I hope it don't, but as Samuel said, it is an absolute sight to see. I've been chasing that plane myself for God knows how long. Like, the first time I was meant to go down was about 6 years ago, and I had to wait 6 years to actually witness that this time. And this time around, it was even during lockdown, unfortunately, but I still went down to Shannon because I was not missing no 6-engine aircraft just because of a lockdown. That plane was my pride and joy to get that, and I was absolutely over the moon to get that, and I hope she does decide to visit again sometime.
Yeah, I just like to be able to see it personally. But
Amazing experience.
Yeah, it is. It is, guys.
Yeah, over to you, Joe.
Right, Tom, and thanks very much for the floor again. So Samuel, so you had the privilege anyway of seeing the world's biggest beast, as I call it sometimes. But that must have been that must have been a dream come true for you to see such a humongous machine like with 6 engines, like three strapped onto each side of it. Like you're probably there saying to yourself, how the hell does this thing get off the ground? Like, it's so huge.
Yeah, and there's actually a funny story between me and the AN225, because I'm gonna be
Okay.
honest. Back when I said that I didn't know about it, about a few days to a week before it actually came to the airport, I actually didn't fully know what it was. I mean, I've seen a picture of it in a video. However, I just didn't know what it was, and I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even know it was the world's biggest aircraft until probably a few days before it came. Like I said, I always thought it was the A380, but it's the world's biggest passenger jet. But it wasn't until a few days after I had heard more about it, I actually saw the world's biggest aircraft. So I didn't actually know it was going to be on my bucket list, but now I've seen it, and hopefully I'll see it at least once in the future before it retires. But but even if I don't, that experience, my first time seeing the world's biggest aircraft, I don't think you can beat anything. That's probably like my best experience ever.
But isn't it great though, Samuel? Like, isn't it great though that like you have the world's biggest cargo plane, right? And then you have the world's biggest passenger plane, which is the Airbus A380. So like as you probably heard the same as what I did. I heard that they were meant to build the A380-900, but I think that's fell through because, as you know, with everything going on at the moment, the A380 program is not doing exceptionally well now at the moment. Like there's Emirates has brought back their 380s now, and then you've Qantas bringing theirs back, and hopefully British Airways are going to bring back a couple of theirs once things start to pick up a bit. But what do you think? What do you think yourself now? This is a very good question I'm going to ask you now. What do you think of everything that is going on in the aviation world at the moment?
Well, it's getting a bit happier because there's more airlines recovering. There's more demand returning because, well, in the UK anyway. I mean, Manchester Airport has recently started taking Emirates A380s again, and I'm hoping to see one. We have the idea to maybe go down to Manchester, maybe next time I go down to England to visit family, since I have family down in Yorkshire.
Right.
But yeah, it's good to see more demand returning to airports in the United Kingdom, because it's getting more or less back to normal in the UK, and with more vaccine rollouts, I mean, it's looking less likely there would be a third lockdown in Scotland. However, of course, the vaccine doesn't make us fully immune; it just makes us more immune.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's good to see everything back to normal. I think it's good to see everything getting back to a somewhat normality. I think that's probably the best way to describe it.
Yeah, it's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually,
Now you said it, Tom.
Actually leads me into sort of the next question, really, and it fits rather well. Steve Plains says, "How long?" I mean, we can all answer this, but we'll get your opinion first, Sam. How long do you think it will be before the aviation industry recovers fully?
Well, it definitely won't happen right away because, of course, there's other places in the world. Like, there's so many countries, and there's probably a few other places that are on lockdown, and some places that are easing their lockdowns. But to see it get back to normal fully, I think it's going to be quite some time, probably a few years, maybe longer. But of course, there's other pandemics that haven't fully gone away, like the flu. However, we've managed to sort of fight against it more and control it a bit more, thanks to more medication and more vaccines for different diseases. And the coronavirus, well, well, sorry, I don't know if I should have said the actual name of it because of YouTube.
We can let it
But,
slide this one time.
Yeah. But it may get it. Things may start getting better in other places. It may not return to normal fully because, of course, social distancing and we're always going to have to sanitize our hands. Even if things do somehow get back to normal or things get better at least, I think there's going to be lots of people that are still going to be wearing face masks voluntarily. And well, some places may say that you don't have to wear them anymore because of how much things have gotten better, but I think people may still want to wear them voluntarily. But some people may just want to remove them. Yeah, they can be a pain, face masks, but me personally, I've gotten used to them and having to wear them a lot. Yeah, I just got used to it.
Cool. For me, I would say I think I answered this question sort of early on in the podcast's life. Really, might have been episode 2, maybe episode 3, or maybe the first episode. I said about maybe 4 to 5 years because you have to think about the impact of what this has had on airlines. So airlines are retiring boatloads of planes and obviously don't have the money to replace them. So the demand will be there, but I don't think it will be met for at least another 4 to 5 years, just while everything's sort of hopefully on the right track and getting back to sort of any kind of normality that can be had from this. And I imagine, Jay,
it wouldn't be
you probably think
surprising if that was the case.
Sorry, Tom, were you saying something there to me?
Sorry about that.
Just mentioning about the how long the aviation industry will recover. I said about 4 or 5 years, and I imagine you probably say the same.
Yeah, Tom, I think I have to agree with you on that. I'd say it's going to be at least 5 years, I reckon. Yeah, because as you were saying, like a lot of airlines are struggling money wise. So, but there is a bit of good news though on the Lufthansa aviation side of things. Lufthansa have decided to keep a couple of their newer 747-400 aircraft. I noticed that they're I think I actually clicked the link actually on the post that they put up. So some good news that there's a couple of passenger 400s still going to be flying in the Lufthansa colours. So thank God for that. So if I do ever get a visit back to Frankfurt Airport, at least there's something to look forward to, because I was always a big fan of the 747-400, and of course, as we know, the 800s are secured anyway, thank God. So at least they have a bit more years in. But it will be great though to see the aviation business kind of picking up a bit again, like, after everything that's after going through. And regards to what you said about with the face masks and everything, I think even when I get my vaccine, so soon, please God, I'm still going to wear my mask, and I'm still going to sanitize and keep safe, because I think we all need to do that anyway, to make sure that we're safe, like, because this thing, we might think it's going to be gone away, but it's not. It's still going to be there. But all we have to do is just mind ourselves, guys, at the end of the day,
Yeah, totally agreeable. And I'm not going to be surprised if it does take like 4 to 5 years, like a few years, to get things back to a somewhat normality or a full normality. It's going to be quite some time.
Yeah,
definitely. Exactly. Yeah. I know. Listen, guys, as I say, we'll get there. It's going to take time, but we'll all get back to level footing again. Like, as the old saying goes, time and patience. Now that's all we can do now at the moment, anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, Tom, you have the next one there, mate.
Yeah, I've got a generic question from Bradley Penny Aviation, who's asking you, Sam, what the weather's like in Edinburgh.
Well, today it's been a bit of a mixture. The rain's been on and off for parts of the day, but you get a mixture of weather here in Scotland. That's one of the things I like about the country.
Yeah, sounds like the weather down here, really. It's all 1 minute sun, 1 minute rain, and half the time I don't know what it's doing. But yeah, that's us for you. Moving on from that and back to sort of the aviation side of things. What would be sort of your dream airports to sort of go and do some plane spotting at?
Well, there's a few, some European and some in the US as well. I would like to go spotting at Orlando International, possibly Miami, Chicago, Los Angeles. There's a few, but of course all this stuff costs money. But I think I'd probably start small and then work my way up. Maybe some in the United Kingdom, like Manchester, East Midlands, one of the London airports, maybe London's Heathrow, London Gatwick. So yeah, maybe some airports in the UK, and then some in other parts of Europe. Maybe maybe Luxembourg and yeah, just I'd say there's a few in the UK and there's some in the US. Maybe less in other parts of Europe because I don't fully know that many airports that well. But Luxembourg is quite interesting, especially with the amount of Cargolux aircraft, even though we do get a few of those at Glasgow Prestwick Airport, and I've seen a few of them.
Yeah, it's an interesting shout, that, because I don't think, for the people that we've had on, nobody's mentioned Luxembourg, and I think that would be sort of a good little airport to go to, just like I say, purely because it is like 747 heaven at the moment, with all the like I say, the Cargolux planes and everything else. So yeah, definitely a good shout there on that one. A reminder, like I said, if anyone's got any questions for Sam, put them into the chat, and we'll get them answered throughout the duration of the show. But yes, over to you, Joe.
Okay, Tom. Now, Samuel, I have a good question for you here now. Glasgow Prestwick Airport now. In regards of movements at that airport now, are the movements now are they frequent, or is it intermittent? Like, you know, like would you get much in the way of big aircraft going in? Now I know Cargolux goes in there on a regular basis with their 747-400 sometimes, or maybe could be a 747-800. But military aircraft now, would you get much military movements going through there?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. In fact, that's probably one of the Glasgow Prestwick Airport. You would probably get quite a lot of military movements from different military carriers, like the RAF, the US Air Force, just any air force in the world, just any military aircraft from anywhere in the world. We've gotten a few types. We've also had at the airport, you'd probably get a few training flights, probably some touch and goes, some go arounds. So you'll probably get some pilot training down there. I don't know how frequently though. And of course, as it's military movements we get down at Glasgow Prestwick Airport, we don't always find out right away. However, there's other people like in Facebook chats, because there's probably a few Facebook groups full of avgeeks, like Scottish ones, based at the airport. They would tell you, because I'm part of a few. I'm in an Edinburgh Airport Spotters group chat, a Prestwick Airport group chat, a Scottish Aviation.
Excellent.
You would get.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's plenty of people to tell you if there are any good movements, but it's not that often I go down there. But of course, it costs money to drive down there, and I'm not old enough to drive myself yet, and it's too far to cycle for me.
Right. Yeah. Well, that'd be understandable. But I know I have seen some epic videos now on YouTube from that brilliant airport, because Glasgow Prestwick is one of the best airports, I reckon, now when it comes to military traffic. Like I've seen Air Force One, of course, on one or two of the videos I've watched. I've seen the C5 Galaxy. Though I absolutely love that airplane. I tell you that especially when it used to have the old type engines on it, the whining the old type engines on the C5 Galaxy when it be taken off, it's just awesome. Like, have you ever seen the C5 Galaxy? Yeah, at Prestwick now yourself.
No, I haven't. I haven't seen too many military movements, but it's something that I would like to see.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, well, that's good. Well, at least there is quite a good variation goes in there. Now, I want to ask you, what is your favorite aviation magazines?
Um, well, in fact, favorite aviation magazines. I don't really tend to read too much. I mean, of course, I follow Airways magazine on Twitter, and I'm subscribed to the channel. But recently, speaking of aviation magazines, my dad actually recently subscribed to I can't remember what they're called, but he got like a monthly subscription, so I'm getting one magazine, like a monthly magazine from them, so I can keep up to date with some things that are going on in the aviation industry, as well as do it
Right.
digitally. So I can't exactly answer what my favorite aviation magazine is, but Airways magazine, but that's digital, and I think it's probably got a few different av geeks who have teamed up to make that, but I don't know how it works really.
Okay. All right. That's no problem. Okay, Tom, I'll hand it over to you there.
And I'm going to hand it over to Ian for some hellos.
Okie doke.
Well, we've got. I'm just scrolling through now. We've got Steve Plains. He says, "Thanks for answering your question. Cargo is definitely the way forward at the moment." And he's down in Bournemouth, and he gets the A340-600 daily. I think that's the ex-Virgin one, isn't it? Carrying all the
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, would be, yeah.
And that's picking up NHS supplies and going to China and whatnot. So that's fantastic. Jeremy Carlisle. Oh, he likes Aviation World. That's his favourite magazine. What about you and Joe? Do you both read Aviation magazine still, or do you do it online like most people do these days? Everyone tends to just read things online, don't they?
No, I collect magazines.
Yeah. Sometimes what I do, Ian, is I go into a bookshop. Now, sadly, no, I haven't been able to get into bookshops with the way things have been. But normally, if I do go in, I'd go over to the shelf and I'd pick up a couple of the airliners, world magazines and stuff like that, and I'd have a gander through them to see what new aircraft is there. Like, I think the last one I seen was back in the end of 2019. I haven't held an aviation magazine in me hands since then because of everything, like, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I tend to do all my reading online as well. We've got,
you're a little better off.
like, to be fair, I'm not being tight. It doesn't cost anything, does it?
No.
Corp Fishing and Bait, CFB. He says evening goal. He's a man after me all night, being a fisherman myself. And James Swan also says, oh, hang on, let's go back to, Jeremy Carlisle was dropping in briefly to say hello.
Hi, Jeremy.
And James Swan says, would you like, sorry, my headphones were just fell. Would you like to play and spot at any of the New York JFK and Newark Liberty International, Sam? So, would you like to spot at JFK and Newark's Liberty International?
If there are any good plane spotting areas at those airports with some good enough movements, then yeah, it would be interesting to maybe go to one of those airports, if not both of them, to see some movements there and film a video or two.
Yeah.
But that would be expensive.
Oh, it'd be really expensive, wouldn't it? Do you actually listen to or watch any sort of US YouTubers or anything like that? Like Matt Cochran was on last week. So do you watch, people like that who are, he does Atlanta, and you've got Chicago and all kinds of places.
Yeah, I actually subscribed to his channel after or maybe during that podcast, and I'll probably check out his channel a bit more some other time. But I also watch I think it's Aviation, who's got over 30,000 subscribers, and he's got a few plane spotting videos at Chicago, Los Angeles, Orlando, Miami, just a bunch of US airports.
His videos are very good, very, very good.
Some Tom, yeah. I've watched a couple from him now. Yeah, he has some pretty awesome work there. But as I was saying now there to yourself during the week, I've been still watching a lot of Matt's back videos that he's done, and you go back on this video on Matt's videos, they're just awesome to listen to again. Like, that guy has so much talent, and I hope sometime down the line we'll get to have him on again and have an epic chat with him again. I'm looking forward to that sometime down the line again.
No doubt we'll have him on at some point.
Yeah.
Back to you, Ian, with a couple more hellos.
We've got Jeremy Carlisle, Aviation World, JFK. There are, there's plenty of airports in America. It's funny you were saying while I'm scrolling through here about Matt Cochran. I was watching some of his videos myself, and I like the way interrupted views. Hello, can you hear me? All right?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, you can't.
All right, yeah.
Cut off there.
Yeah, oh, sorry. Yeah, I was just saying about the American YouTubers. They seem to get all these really, really good uninterrupted views, and obviously the weather's nice and things like that. But yeah, watching Matt Cochran, it actually got me into storm chasing. So I've started watching storm chasing videos now through him because of some of the videos. He's
crazy,
some of the weather he encounters. He's crazy.
Yeah.
So
wow,
Jeremy Carl dropping to briefly say hello.
He's had some close encounters anyway. His lightning strikes anyway. Atlanta a few times.
Definitely. Yeah. The only other one I can see is Danielle Behan says hi as well. Steve Plains gives you a thumbs up. And that's pretty much. I can't see any more new questions in the chat, to be quite honest with you. So I'll hand it back over to you, Tom, or Joe, if that's all right.
That's fine. You've done well.
Yeah, thank you. Put me on the spot. I couldn't see it. I'm looking and I can't see anything.
No,
sorry.
You're all good. You've done well.
Well, a big shout out to everyone anyway.
Yes. So going back to the questions there. Sam, difficult question. What's your favourite aircraft?
Sorry, what was that? I think it just cut off a wee bit.
What's your favourite aircraft?
Well, the 747 is definitely a really good aircraft, especially since it's the queen of the skies. So the 747 is really good. I do like the 737. I've travelled on TUI's -800 variant. However, I'm not so sure if I would fly on the MAX.
Ooh.
However, if it's in service for long enough and has had no issues within a certain amount of time, then I guess I would give it a try. But I do think the A320 is good as well. I don't know if I think I may have travelled on maybe at least one A320 in my life, but I have travelled with TUI on their 737-800s and their Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner. I do think the Dreamliner is good, and the A350 seems like a pretty interesting aircraft.
So you've got many favourites then?
I think the A380 is pretty cool as well, but of course all these quad jets, most of them are being retired and they're less fuel efficient and less environmentally friendly, so that's probably why they're becoming more rare. But flying on the A380 one day, maybe before they all retire, would be an amazing experience. So I can't really answer if I've got I don't really know if I've got a favourite one, to be honest, because there's lots of good aircraft.
Definitely. Joe, we all know what yours is. Yours is the 747, right?
Oh, Tom, do you know something? I wouldn't trade places with the Queen of the Skies. I love the Queen of the Skies, and of course now I'm starting to get used to the A350. So I love every time I hear an A350 now taking off. I just love the sound of those next generation engines on her and whatever, like, and the different whining noises out of them and that as well. But no, the Queen of the Skies will always reign supreme with me. And of course, my third favorite then will be the Dreamliner. And that's all. Yeah, I think I have to say I'd be happy with those three ladies at the moment.
Fantastic. Mine is, of course, 757, and that will never change.
Well, look, that's understandable, Tom. But listen, don't get me wrong. The 757 is a beauty. Because when she's going for a takeoff, she literally purrs and then she sings and away she goes. And that's what I love about the Rolls-Royce RB111 engines. They really let it go when the 757 is going for its takeoff. You know, when the 757 does eventually cease to exist, it will be an aircraft that will be missed as well.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes. So we've got your sort of selection of favourite aircraft, Sam. What would be your favourite airline?
Not so sure about favorite, but I do like TUI.
Okay.
There are a few as well, but I mean, these are also just from trip reports I've seen. I do want to fly with British Airways more. However, I think their domestic flights, like for example, their Glasgow to Heathrow or Edinburgh to Heathrow, they've been a bit of a downgrade over the last few years, and there's probably there's a few reasons why, but I still want to try BA more, and I have flown with Jet2 before, however I can't remember the experience, but from trip reports I've seen with Jet2, they seem quite good, but I mean, I do really enjoy flying with TUI, and I think TUI is actually the first airline where I actually went into the flight deck for the first time, and it was on a 787-8 Dreamliner, and it's their aircraft nicknamed Miles of Smiles G-28.
Oh, very nice.
Yes, very nice.
So I think TUI is definitely a really nice airline. Not so sure about my favourite, but they're definitely one of my top airlines.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Joe,
yeah.
for you, what's your favourite?
I have to say, Tom, I definitely go with British Airways. I've flown with British Airways a couple of times, and I have to say the service from Dublin to Heathrow or Dublin to Gatwick has always been epic for me. I've never had any issues with them. I'd say my second would be my own national carrier, which is known for Aer Lingus, of course, and I like them as well. And third, Ryanair, I suppose, in a way, because I've had a few nice flights with Ryanair. I done a flight to Gatwick a few last year before the situation got out of hand with everything going on and that, and I got served very well. Food on board was lovely, and then to Frankfurt, I done a flight to Frankfurt with them as well, and I got well looked after on that flight as well. So yeah, so they be my kind of three at the moment. But I do have others there as well. But BA, I have to say, number one for me.
Wicked. I've always wanted to try EasyJet.
EasyJet, oh,
Yeah.
nice.
So my favourite is Flybe, but obviously with them no longer existing.
Yeah, well, of course,
Yeah,
of course.
no longer existing. I've got to find a new one. So I've always wanted to try
Yeah.
EasyJet. just because.
Yeah.
I want to try EasyJet as well. I want to try some more budget airlines like Ryanair and EasyJet.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I've got
yeah.
the opportunity to do so because they're launching Newquay to Gatwick routes. So
Oh, very good.
I get the opportunity to do that. But
Yeah.
I suppose as a favourite, I don't think I have a favourite. I think it's like you guys, like top three sort of thing. So it'd be like,
Yeah.
I don't know, might be like Jet2. Oh gosh, Jet2, maybe Iceland Air, and maybe Lufthansa.
Oh, very good,
Yeah,
Tom.
that's what I'd
Nice.
go with. Yeah.
Tom, can I ask you a question, my good friend and host?
Yeah, far away.
You've flown on the 757. I take it a couple of times, haven't you?
Not 757. No, I've flown on.
Oh, you've never
No.
been on the 75. Oh, gee, Tom.
No.
You may get on the 757 before they do officially retire, because like I've had a couple of friends I think have actually flown on 757s, and they're not bad. They're not a bad plane to go on, but I'd love. No, I'd be the same. I'd love to actually try a 757 now, just to see what it's like to travel with.
Yes. I mean, I've not been on one, but I'm going to chase one down and get on one, preferably
Yeah.
before they do retire. So, so at least I can say I've done it.
Well, I hope you do. My friend.
Fingers
I really
crossed.
do.
Fingers crossed.
Yes, fingers crossed. Oh yes.
So a couple more questions then before we sort of begin to sort of close proceedings this evening on what
Okay,
has
Tom.
been an interesting podcast, to say the least.
Yeah. I'm sure.
What are your sort of future spotting trips that you might have coming up?
I have had the idea to maybe take a trip down to Gatwick. This is when I wanted to fly with EasyJet, and I did have the idea to do it with one of my friends, but I'm not so sure that'll be happening. But maybe I'll do it with maybe I'll do it with someone else, or maybe I'll go on another trip. But I do want to maybe take a trip down with EasyJet from Edinburgh down to Gatwick for a day or two to do some plane spotting, and also make some trip reports as well, some landing and takeoff videos. So I would like to fly down to Gatwick, maybe do some plane spotting at Heathrow as well. I would also like to maybe do some trip reports, of course, when I'm old enough, maybe with Jet2 and to maybe fly down to the Canary Islands. And if the route ever returns, the Edinburgh to Orlando Sanford International Airport with the TUI Dreamliner, that's where I actually flew on the TUI Dreamliner and back. However, I just never made a trip report, and it was back in 2019.
Oh, okay. And what was the experience like on the Dreamliner?
The first flight there was amazing, and I was also having some conversations with one of the flight attendants, and that's when she actually helped me, get access into the flight deck when we landed in Orlando Sanford International, and I talked to the captain and the co-pilot for a bit, and I sat in the captain's seat. And
Wow.
I actually did try and buy one of their 737 MAX models on the aircraft, and I did pay for it. However, the flight attendant really nicely, probably like a few minutes later or so, or probably when I was at the restroom, actually gave me back the tenner that I actually paid. So it was like I got a free model.
Oh, wow.
However, the model, I no longer have it because it actually broke.
Oh. Heartbreaking.
My God. Oh God.
Yeah, that's a shame, especially if it's been done under such a nice gesture as well. Oh dear. That's a shame. Well, hopefully you can get down to Gatwick and stuff. Preferably when Gatwick wakes up a little bit more than what it's on at the minute. But yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, hopefully Emirates returns their A380s to Gatwick. I mean, they've done it with Manchester, and I wonder if they're still doing it with Heathrow as well, or if they're, because I think Heathrow has a few services probably every day or at least every few days to Heathrow from Dubai.
Yeah, I do believe that the The 380 was actually back at Heathrow this week, I think.
Tom, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And we'll quickly go on to, as you mentioned, models. We'll have a quick chat about your model collection. Obviously, I take it you do collect them?
Yeah, I've got quite a few Gemini Jets models. I think Gemini Jets is probably one of my favourite, if not the favourite, model manufacturer. And I've got quite a few of their models as well.
Fantastic. And
I also quite like...
Go on.
Oh, sorry, go on.
No, go on.
I also have some Herpa models. So Herpa is a really good company. In fact, Herpa, I've actually got the Herpa 1/500 scale Antonov AN225 model.
Oh, wicked. It's a nice
Wow.
sort of size as well, especially for a 1/500 scale. It is massive, even for that sort of scale. So, roughly, sort of, how many do you have in total?
Well, I've got a few from a few companies. I've got one Dragon Wings model. In fact, the video that I actually made of the unboxing actually went up a few hours ago.
Definitely worth checking that out. Then links, of course, are in the chat provided by Ian. So, yeah, have a look at that after the show. But yeah,
And I do have a few 747 models from Gemini Jets. I have the BA1, Virgin Atlantic, Delta, and what other 7? I think oh wait, no, I don't. It's the 2A787-8 -9 Dreamliner model. I also have a model. It's quite small, but it's of a US Airways Airbus A320, and my dad got it for me for my birthday a few months ago, and so it's really similar to the one that went down in the Hudson River over 12 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Excellent.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a really good one.
Yeah.
And I have I've got a few Herpa models, like I said. One of one of them is the Antonov AN225 model, 1/500 scale, and I do have the Cargo Lux model in the 50 years livery.
Oh, wicked! Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, nice.
And do you have any of the tri-jet ones like the DC-10 or the MB-11 or 727 in your collection?
No, I don't, but I do hope to collect more in the future, and well, if I ever get a job in the future, I will be able to make a bit more money, so maybe I'll be able to afford some more as well as afford some trips, but I'm only, I wasn't so sure if I should say this. In fact, I have shared my age on the internet before, but I think I'm just gonna say I'm 16 years old, so I'm a young adult. But so I don't really have a job. So the way I make my money is I just earn it from like doing chores for my parents. So and that's how I've been able to afford these models. But I've also been given a few of them as gifts for Christmas and birthdays. I've got some British Airways safety cards as well. Even though they're not models, they're still really cool. Got quite a few of them actually, and I plan on making a video maybe next month on them because the collection is pretty cool.
Still nice to have
stuff.
Still nice to have a bit of like memorabilia and stuff. I'm a bit like that.
Yeah.
I've got the amenity kit from the last ever United 747 flight.
Wow.
I've got
nice one, Tom.
Wow.
I've got a tail section of one of the old, a cut out square of the tail section of an old Thomas Cook A330.
Yeah, that's right.
I've got a skin that is from the US Airways A320 that was used in the filming of Sully.
Sully, that's right. Yeah, wow.
Oh, I've seen that film. Tom Hanks was great in that movie.
He was fantastic.
He's
fantastic.
He's a fantastic actor, guys. He's an amazing actor. Him. I loved him in the film the Green Mile. That was absolutely awesome as well.
Yeah, he was awesome in Sully, and I got treated to the skin for I think Christmas just gone. Yeah, of the A320
Nice
that
one,
was used
Tom.
in that film. So yeah, I'm going to treasure that for as long as I can. Well, as long as I can breathe, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Now you said it, Tom. Good man.
In fact, as we're talking about Sully, there's actually something that I would actually like to fly to. Well, maybe to Charlotte Douglas International, maybe one day. Like I said before, it's expensive, but because the actual plane that was used in the accident flight, I think it was November 106 United States. That is still on display at the museum at the airport.
I believe it is. Yeah, they took it out, didn't they? And then
Yeah.
used it as a
Yeah, actually, you're
museum
right.
piece.
Yeah, it is actually. Yeah.
Just imagine seeing it just with your own two eyes. That would definitely be worth seeing and worth taking some pictures and making a YouTube video of.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
You can imagine
definitely.
what it'd be like to be one of the passengers on that plane as well, just by looking at the plane.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Awesome.
God.
Awesome. Well, I think what we're going to do is we're going to start to wrap things up on what's been, like I said, a very interesting podcast this evening.
Yeah, second attempt, but at least it worked.
Yes, for those that are just joining us, we had some technical issues with the first half, so we ran through the news and everything else, and we had some technical issues. So anybody watching this back will probably hear just the guest portion forward. So don't think that we've skipped anything. It's just the fact that we managed to fix it, and we're just carrying on from where we left off. But anybody that's been watching, and also come back to watch the rest of the show, a massive thank you to everyone that's bared with us while we had to go through the issues that we did. But we managed to get it back, and we managed to bring you an hour of aviation chat, and I just hope you all enjoyed it, really. So if you did enjoy this second attempt, leave a like on the stream. That'd be much appreciated. And yeah, so what we'll do is we'll start to wrap things up, and what we tend to do now is give a few shout outs to people, and just as a sign of appreciation for those that are in our lives, and anybody like friends and family that you might want to shout out. And normally we go with a guest. So Sam, we're going to put you on the spot and see if you've got any shout outs you want to give.
Can I just interrupt before you guys carry on? Just a couple of comments, that's all. It was,
Okay, we'll go back.
Sorry,
over to you, Ian.
Goes away. Jeremy Carlisle says his favourite airline is under a different name now, and it was Northwest Airlines.
Oh, yes, I know which one he's on about, yes.
Yeah, we know. Yeah,
I think they were they swallowed up by Delta in 2009 or something?
Yeah.
Is that the ones? Yeah.
Yeah.
Carry on.
From me and Cowan. It was this one mainly. It was just a question from A. Cowan, and it was Samuel. How did you get into collecting plane models?
Well, when I made my first model unboxing, it was during the first lockdown, and I've had a few models before that, but I never really made aviation content when I got the models. I used to have another British Airways model before the one I currently have, but it broke. Well, a few pieces of it broke, but most of the models I have now, at least one part, even if it's just one small part, has broke. But a few of them I've actually managed to fix, even if it's just with a bit of super glue.
Yeah. Have you ever tried making your own, like your Airfix models or anything like that?
Like the snap-ons?
No, the actual, the model kits you buy with 300 pieces, what you have to piece together.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I don't know, I haven't, but I have actually bought one before, but of course I never really understood all these model types when I bought one. I just wanted one just for like a bit of fun, just to play around with, and I was younger. But I didn't really understand it much. But I did buy one off of Amazon once, but I didn't exactly know fully what I was buying, to be honest.
Yeah, I think you have to be quite dedicated, don't you, to models, definitely. Right, I think that was it Thanks, Tom. Steve Plain says it's very enjoyable and he's subscribed, which is fantastic.
Thank you very
much. So I'll
much.
hand back over to you now, Tom, for your shout-outs.
Thank you, Ian.
You're welcome.
Yes, no, but thank you very much, Steve, for that comment of it being very enjoyable despite the issues. So yeah, thank you, and thank you for the subscribe as well. That definitely means a lot. But yeah, so we'll get into the shout out side of things now. Yeah, Sam, if you've got anybody you want to say hello to or take the time to promote your channel and your social medias, fire away.
Well, of course, I would like to say, I don't know if he's watching this just now or not, but I would just like to say hi to my dad, because my dad's actually the one that's helped me with a lot of my videos. He's the one that's been driving me down to Glasgow Prestwick Airport these last few times to film these videos, taking time out of his day, spending the money on fuel just for me, which is greatly appreciated. All the models and all the aviation collectibles, like the British Airways cards, these books, getting a subscription for this magazine, which I can't remember the name of, for me. All this stuff he's done for me to help me with my interest and my YouTube channel. It's greatly appreciated. The same with my mother, who's also bought me at least one other model and bought a few aviation collectibles. But my parents have helped me a lot. But yeah, as I don't have, I don't have my own house and I don't have a job, so I can't make my own money, and I still live under my parents' roof. So yeah, they're the ones that help me a lot with my videos and my interest.
Fantastic stuff, and well done to your mum and dad for giving you the support that for doing the channel and stuff, and pushing you to keep it going. So yeah, well done those two.
Yeah, big shout out to both of mum and dad there from me and Tom, Samuel, and absolutely awesome. And keep up the good work.
Yeah, keep up the good work.
Yeah.
Right.
Thanks.
Joe, or Mr. List, over to you.
Thanks very much, Tom, and it's an absolute pleasure, as I say. Well, anyway, Tom, the first main important people, anyway, to give a shout out is, of course, yourself, anyway, the wonderful host of this podcast.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, and to our chat reader, Ian, of course.
Thanks very much.
You're very welcome, my good friend, and to Samuel, who was a wonderful guest with us. Also, big shout out to him. And you're very welcome, Samuel. And of course, myself, big shout out to myself, of course, for doing as best a job as I can do every week, and it's great to be part of such an amazing event. And of course, I better not forget three particular good people that are close to me in my life as well at the moment. Melissa Taylor, who joined in on the show to watch tonight. Big shout out to her and to her boyfriend Danny also as well. And of course, I better not forget my own two special friends that comes down to me here every now and again when they can. Rebecca Follen, her fiance Mark Collins, and baby Luke. Big shout out to them as well, of course. And of course, my brother who came in to visit me today. Had a great day with him, of course. Big shout out to him. I hope he got home okay after a good day and he got his vaccine and that. And anyone else on Facebook, and of course, not going to forget, a big shout out to all our frontline workers, medical people, firefighters, and law enforcers, and that are doing a marvelous job out there, keeping us all safe, of course. And big shout out to them, and of course, big shout out to everybody that joined in on the chat. Of course, Daniel Bean, I better not forget get Danielle. I don't know if my friend Killian Martin was actually on now tonight. Tonight, I don't think he was. I think he possibly was busy, but give him a shout out anyway. So shout out to everybody and to all my Facebook friends who follow me all the time on my own live streams when I go on live myself. Big shout out to everybody and to my friend Brendan O'Brien in Bagnestown in County Carlow here in Ireland that keeps a close watch on me to make sure I'm okay and that as well. And I think that's everything, Tom. I can't think of anybody else, so I'll hand the floor over to you.
You sure about that?
100%.
A lot of shout out.
I love it.
This is why we tend to let Joe go in the middle.
And Tom, before we do go, I'm just watching MotoGP at the moment. Guys just have to get flattened off a motorbike there a few minutes ago.
Say that again.
There's a race on MotoGP. Do you know the motorbike racing?
Oh, right, yes.
Yeah, a guy was just taking the bend. The next thing, the bike just went straight from under him. He's alright though. He got up. He's grand, not a bother on him.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
Over to you, Ian. Your turn for the shout outs.
How long have we got?
We've got.
Just shout out to Sam for being a fantastic guest. Yourself, Tom, and Joe, just for being there again, and everybody who's been in the chat tonight. And thanks to everyone who has been in the chat tonight. Thanks for all your questions and comments. It's been another enjoyable night despite the little hiccups. So
yes.
Fantastic, and that's me done.
Yes.
It went well now.
Well done.
Went very
Fantastic. Well. My shout outs aren't going to be as long, but there's a few people. First of all, everybody that's like I said, bared with us this evening with the issues and stuck with us throughout the entirety of the show. Big shout out to you guys. And yeah,
thanks, Tom.
I am so appreciative of people that continue to watch week in, week out. It definitely means a lot. So yeah, big shout out to everybody there. Big shout out to Sam for joining us this evening and having a chat about aviation.
Thanks.
A shout
It's
out.
been really enjoyable.
Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Despite the technical difficulties at the start, which were really annoying, got worse near the end of the first attempt.
Yeah, and now we managed to get through it. So if you
I
persevere,
think that might have actually been, well, possibly something to do with me on my part, just because it was on my phone when we did the first attempt, and now I'm on my MacBook, and there was less of it.
Yes, I have noticed that, but that might have been my fault as well, because I did say to you to stay on your phone, so I'll take part of the blame for it. But no, so thank you for joining us this evening. Joe, for another grand job that you've done being our co-host this evening.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate the good words every week, and it's an absolute pleasure to be a part of a great event. Like the ladder keeps getting bigger and bigger each week. As we said at the start of the show, show number 9. Number 9. It's upwards now, onwards and upwards, as they say. Yes. So looking forward to many more good weeks now to come. All going well, please God.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ian for another stellar job in keeping up to date with the comments.
Yep.
Good man, Ian. Well done.
Thanks very much, guys.
I would also
You're more than welcome.
I'd also like to give a shout out to the two people that just shouted out, which is your friends Rebecca and Mark, who were very complimentary towards the podcast last night on Facebook. Got into a little chat with them, and
thanks, Tom.
So big shout out to those two, and big shout out to all the frontline workers, NHS, and any other sort of health services around the world for your continuous amazing jobs that you've been doing.
Shout out to all the people who work at the National Health Service, and just any doctors as well who are having to treat people during these difficult times, especially
Yeah.
with COVID.
Yeah.
Definitely, absolutely.
Excellent, Sam. Excellent, Samuel. Good man yourself.
Always got to give him a shout out because the work that
Oh,
they do
yeah.
is absolutely incredible. So, yeah,
This,
so well done to
this,
them.
Tom.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And final
Yeah.
shout out. He put it in the chat. No one's mentioned it, so I'm going to give him a shout out to make his evening. James Swan has asked for a shout out.
Ah.
So shout out.
Big shout out, James.
Shout out to
I give
James
him a
Swan.
shout
I'm friends
out.
with him as
He
well.
said, "Can I get a?" Yeah, he said, "Can I get a shout out?" So I did do.
Oh, did you give him a shout
Oh.
out? Well, he's got two now.
I did,
So
yeah.
Oh,
It's,
nice. Nice one.
it's recorded. You can listen to it back.
not if I delete it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm actually friends with him as well, and he's based at Edinburgh. Before we've spoke on Snapchat multiple times. We've only met once, but hopefully we're meeting up in the future. But yeah, I'm friends with him.
Fantastic. So yeah, so you got two
Awesome.
shout outs for the price of one there.
Awesome.
Now next week, the dates will vary because I could potentially be up at East Midlands Airport doing some filming for my next video. So, providing the weather's
Right.
fine, it'll either be next Sunday or Bank Holiday Monday, which is the 31st. But the topic of next week, we got no guest, but it's absolutely fine because we're having a little debate and we would like you to join in. So we are going to be discussing next week the British Airways World Tales and why they flopped, and do people like them or do people hate them. So this is a topic I've been wanting to talk about for quite some time, and the fact that we're going to get to do it next week is going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be very educational, and it's going to be, it won't get heated, but it'll be, the debate will be fantastic. So hopefully you guys can join us next week for a debate on our podcast for episode 10. Yes, that's right, episode 10. We're going into double digits.
We are, Tom, at long last, double digits.
Double digits, and we are going to be discussing the British Airways World Tales. So,
World Tales. Excellent.
So yes, we want all your comments of which ones were your favourite, which ones were not your favourite. Did you like them? Did you hate them? Chuck them our way next week, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to that, guys.
So, Tom, do you know something I know I have to do now then throughout the week now coming then is go back into some of my old video footage that I have that when I was down at Gatwick because I did manage to catch, as I said on previous shows, a few of the world colour tales going out Gatwick on the 747 Queens of the Skies, a couple of the 737-200s. British Airways had a few of them as well, and so I did a couple of 777-200s. Had special colour tales as well. So I can go back on some old footage and see which favourite that I liked back then.
Yeah, it's good. Like I said, next week's one is going to be next one's going to be
awesome.
Going to be a good little chat next week about the World Tales and stuff. So I hope everybody can join us. But yes, that'll do it for us. That'll do it for us this week. So what we'll do is we will start to go around the room and get everybody to say goodbye. So Sam, do you want to say goodbye to everybody?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on, guys. It's been a pleasure, and I've enjoyed having this chat, and I've enjoyed answering the questions as best I can from the people in the chat. So bye to them as well.
Awesome, Sam.
Been a pleasure having you on, and we'll definitely get you on again at some point in the future.
Yeah,
nice.
Definitely.
Ian, do you want to say bye to everyone?
Goodbye, everyone. And look forward to asking and answering some of your questions next week. Bye.
Keep it short and sweet, like yourself.
Woo. Well, why not? That's what I'm doing.
Oh dear. Jer, do you want to say bye to everyone?
Yes, Tom, I will. I want to say goodbye to yourself, Ian, to you, Samuel. It's been a pleasure talking to you, having a good chat with you. And if you want to send me a friend request on Facebook or Instagram, or you want to subscribe to me on YouTube, you're more than welcome. Feel free to hit the click button. And I want to say a very goodbye to yourself, Tom. It's been great working with you another week. And goodbye to everybody in the chat, and it's been an honor having a good chat with you all, and to all our friends all around the world. Stay safe out there. Look after yourselves.
Definitely. And
Thanks. You take care.
yes, for myself, thank you once again for persevering with us through the difficult times that we've had this evening. Hopefully you can join us all next week for some BA Worldtail chat. But for now, continue to look after yourselves, stay safe, and we'll do this all again next week. But for now, bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Take
Bye.
Take care. Stay safe.
care, Samuel.